Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and one of the worst PC ports, let's just put it, of all time. I don't think it's hyperbole at this point to say Monster Hunter Wilds has been one of the biggest train wrecks I think I've ever laid my eyes on, and guys, I've been PC gaming for north of a decade at this point, which is honestly, that's not like the longest time in the world. However, the early 2010s was really where the explosion of a lot of publishers realizing they could make money on PC, and you had the Capcoms, the Bandai Namcos, and the Ubisofts of the world all coming out with PC games, and you had them coming out day one alongside their console counterpart, and that just exponentially grew and grew. So I came in into PC gaming, I feel, at around the time where the PC ports also you started noticing more and more bad PC ports just because there was a bigger quantity of games coming to PC, so naturally some of them would be pretty bad. That's just my outlook on it, but I've seen the Assassin's Creed Unities of the world, the Batman Arkham Knights, and I can, The Last of Us Part 1s, the Star Wars Jedi Survivors. A lot of those games ended up being some of my favorite games of all time, games I really enjoyed, but it cannot be questioned that there has been a litany of awful PC ports, and Monster Hunter Wilds has been one of these standouts, but really 2025 has just been an absolute crap show as far as awful PC versions. Mafia: The Old Country just came out. I beat the game on PC, and initially, first 3-4 hours of the game, and that's what a lot of the videos I uploaded, giving my initial thoughts, I had one crash. After that, I swear to God, it was every 45 to 90 minutes, crash here, crash again, mid-cutscene crash, gameplay scene crash, and that game doesn't have like constant checkpoints, so there were times where I had to replay, not an insane amount of, like 5 minutes, but regardless, crashing at this level is just insane, and the fact is, it is becoming an overwhelming amount of games that are bad PC versions. Like, brothers, it's literally a 50-50 crapshoot. What are the two last big games that have come out within the last month? It's Wushang Fallen Feathers and Mafia: The Old Country. Guess what? Both of them are trash on PC. Maybe saying Mafia: The Old Country is trash is a little bit too big of a stretch, but it's not great. Let's put it that way. Wushang is trash. Let's just call a spade a spade. Wushang is trash. Monster Hunter Wilds, like I said, is trash. And Monster Hunter Wilds just got a brand new update as well. Alongside that, they put out a director's letter, a message from director Tokuda for August of 2025. Now, they go over a lot of the content updates. I'm not going to go over that because, honestly, that's irrelevant at this point. It doesn't matter what the content updates are on PC. To me, what matters is we need to get this game at a suitable rate. Pull Denuvo off the game. You sold 10 million copies of the game. You made a truckload of cash. Pull Denuvo. Even if, do the consumer a solid. People paid $70 for this pile of trash on PC. Do them a solid. You made your money. People aren't gonna pirate this pile of trash anymore. You sold 400,000 copies or something like that in the last quarter, comparably to 10 million copies in the first quarter, and yes, sales are gonna go down quarter over quarter, but that is an exponential decrease. Pull Denuvo! Get rid of it! There's no point to have it anymore. You made a truckload of cash while at the same time giving the consumer a pile of trash. Do them a solid, pull Denuvo. That has to happen. Why this hasn't happened, I don't know. Get it together. Don't do some, we want to keep it in the game for a year. We want to sell the game for, no. Like, bro, at some point, take the L. Just take the L that you delivered a pile of trash. Do the buyers one piece of a solid to build a semblance of goodwill, which you have destroyed for this franchise on PC. Now, ultimately, when the next Monster Hunter game comes out, will people forget about this? Maybe that will be the case, but you sold a truckload of copies on this game, and how you could make this kind of impression with a game this big is just astronomically insane to me. Why not get people on board? You could figure it out with the amount of resources that Capcom would have at their disposal and how big of a game this ended up being. It should be priority numero uno to get this game to a solid state so people can spin that mostly negative recent reception on Steam to something that's at least mixed or mostly positive. We can get it to that level. Think what you want about the game itself, but By God, again, I can go on a tangent on this game because it's infuriating. $70 games, and you're getting games that are literally broken. Look, I love PC gaming. There are so many great things about PC gaming, but we have to call it as it is. At this point in 2025, it has been a rancid, a terrible year for these new Spider-Man 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Wu Shang, Mafia the Old Country. It's just big game after big game that is a disaster on PC. And I'm not saying every game on console is running swimmingly and whatnot, but man, on PC, especially with UE5 and some of these other engines, the RE engine for sure, it's just been a crap show. Now, as far as efforts to improve game stability, they do know we'd also like to touch on our efforts to improve game stability, particularly for the Steam version in response to numerous player comments. Bug fixes: we are currently aware of an issue across all platforms where the game may crash when a player gestures, such as the water gun gesture. Okay, the game may crash at a variety of different reasons, but I digress. We plan to fix this issue on the version 1.021 update. Again, they apologize for the inconvenience. We are strengthening our checking system to prevent game crashes caused by issues on the application side. In the event that a bug is found, we will investigate and fix it promptly. CPU usage optimization for the Steam version. In Title Update 2, we fix bugs related to shader compilation and reduce the impact of anti-cheat measures on processing load by about 90%. In addition, as an option to reduce CPU load while improving frame rate, we implemented support for the latest super resolution technologies, DLSS 4 and FSR 4. Yes, let's use the AI upscaling as a crutch instead of actually making the game of quality. I told you guys back in September of last year. You can dig it up on this channel. I did a video, and look, the dislikes on that video are very public to me. There was a significant portion of people that are hardcore, diehard Monster Hunter fans that felt that I was rushing to a conclusion and being harsh on that. Will I ever get a pat on the back for calling that out back in September of last year, or whenever it was, August, September? I won't, but the reality is you could see things like this coming a mile away, and there's a certain portion of you that have to read between the tea leaves and realize when you have jarring system requirements that, oh, maybe this is something to pay attention to. And, you know, with this one, it was obviously the case. In addition, in Title Update 2, we improved our texture loading process, reducing instances where low-quality textures are displayed when monsters suddenly enter the player's field of view. The textures in this game are so bad, it is crazy. And again, I beat this game on PC, but I'm not spending a significant amount of time on this game like you would think people would do with a Monster Hunter game. Title Update 3 will see similar improvements for NPCs and mounts as well. Future plans, let's look ahead at that. In general, increasing the native frame rate will also increase CPU usage. If the frame rate limit is set to unlimited or high value in the option, CPU performance will be maximized in the attempt to increase the frame rate. In cases where GPU performance is bottlenecked, CPU performance will not be fully utilized. We are aware that some players may be concerned about the potential strain on their PCs, particularly those using CPUs known to have stability issues due to prolonged high CPU usage during extended play sessions. On the other hand, as making changes to CPU processing could affect the game's overall performance, we plan to proceed with caution. In regards to CPU load reduction, we plan to address the issue in the 4th title update scheduled for this winter. Once the initial implementation is complete, we will proceed with a second stage of further mitigation measures. We will also address GPU load reduction in a similar manner. We will continue to work on improving the game stability so that more players can enjoy the game on PC with peace of mind. Brothers, it's been 6 months since this game came out. What do you mean more players? What? The game came out 6 months ago, and now it's just like, we want more players to be able to enjoy. 6 months after release, you sold 10 million copies of this game. I get the 10 million number is on consoles as well, but it was a significant amount on PC. I believe, based on the breakdown, this game was gigantic on PC. The PC audience gravitated towards it a lot, and they got rewarded with a crap sandwich. Honestly, the entire time while I was reading this, I was just waiting for a statement or a post in this update post from Capcom of it being like, make sure your drivers are up to date and you meet the minimum hardware. You know that's what they do. Bro, with every bad PC port, without fail, it's like, yo, just make sure your CPU is up to date. Just make sure you meet the minimum build system requirements. It's like, brothers, people are playing this game with the 5080 and it's running like garbage. Can we just figure this out? It's not the PCs. It's not the PCs. I'm sorry, you guys. I know I'm getting a little bit unhinged, but the amount of times I've seen, is it make sure your drivers are up to date. Make sure you have the latest hardware. Which, by the way, wasn't the idea of the AI upscaling, so a lot of the hardware would have a lengthier shelf life and lower end hardware would be able to run, more intensive games. Now it's just, make sure you use DLSS 4 on your 5080 so you can get the performance you want. It's just crazy. And again, I have these mental breakdowns about the bad PC ports because it's like, bro, PC gaming is growing. There's a lot of people that buy these games at a premium price point, and thank the high heavens for Steam refunds, but there are people buying these games on Green Man Gaming to take advantage of the discounts, and what? They can't get a refund, and they're just screwed. Again, it's just a crazy, crazy situation as far as this year, and it goes in waves. Like, I feel like 2023, I remember the stretch with playing, like, Callisto Protocol into Last of Us Part 1 into Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and it was really Last of Us Part 1 into Star Wars Jedi Survivor that was, like, just infuriating. I remember being absolutely infuriated by those two games back to back. But this year, Spider-Man 2, disaster experience. I get that it got remedied very quickly, but the day of launch, it was a train wreck. Again, Wu Shang, Mafia, and I loved Mafia. Thought Mafia was a fantastic game. Performance issues aside, literally one of my favorite games of the year. But that game, crashing left and right. Monster Hunter Wilds, disaster. And, that's just off the top of my head. I'm sure there have been other games that have been poor PC versions. Obviously, there have been the games. Shout out to Dynasty Warriors Origins, but that's a Tecmo Koei title. Atelier Yumiya, that's a game. Bad PC performance. That's another one, but shout out to Dynasty Warriors Origins. I remember that game running really well. Expedition 33 was a really solid experience for me. And again, for me, for a lot of other people, their experiences can differ. Look, I had a bad experience initially with Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii with that game crashing, and that's one I did not expect. But for the most part, that game was pretty good. But yeah, I just feel like some of these PC versions this year have just been outrageously terrible. Wu Shang, Mafia, The Old Country, back to back, like that one stings a little bit as far as recent games are concerned, given that those two games came out, in the span of 3 weeks, and Mafia, I beat the game, played through the crashes, but I probably crashed 8 times in my playthrough, 8 to 10 times around that range, and you're talking about a game that's, 11 hours or so? That's pretty egregious, so, yeah, that was pretty terrible. Wu Shang was awful, and, there have been a plethora of other ones. Monster Hunter Wilds, quite possibly the worst PC port of all time, and maybe that's recency bias, I don't know, but it's a disaster, and Capcom, at the very least, pull Denuvo. Let's get Denuvo out of here. Like, what are we doing here? But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.